For this first exercise of the chapter, we're going to demonstrate how to work with virtual methods. We're going to do this by creating an employee class and then deriving a manager class from that employee class and overriding a virtual method in the employee class. So let's get started. First thing we need to do is create the employee class. We'll have two data members, name and salary. We'll have one constructor, and we'll say name equals N, salary equals S. All we're going to create for the rest of this class is the virtual method that we're going to override. So we're going to call this display info, and it will return the name, then a new line, and then the salary, and also a new line here as well. And that's all we need for this class. Next, we will derive a manager class from the employee class, so we need a colon with employee to indicate that manager is inheriting from employee. We'll add one new data member to the class, department, and then our constructor will have three parameters: the name, the salary, and the department. Then we call the base class constructor first with the name, N and S for name and salary, and we don't need a semicolon right there. What we need is opening curly brace, and then we set the department. And I see I made a little mistake right here. Let me fix that real quick. We only want D. I could use this with department, but I'm not going to. There we go. Now we're ready to override the display info method. So we're going to write public override string display info. You notice that when you do that, it automatically calls return base.displayInfo, which is fine, but I want to do it in my own way, so let's do it like this. We're going to say return base display info plus, and then we're going to write department plus a new line, like so, and then close the class. Got to have those open and close parentheses there. All right, so let's test our program. First, we'll create an employee object. Give it a name and a salary, and we'll call display info for that object. Then we'll create a manager object with a name, a salary, and a department. And then we'll call display info for that object. And let's run the program. And it works correctly. For the employee object, we get the name and the salary. And for the manager object, we get the name, the salary, and the department. So, to summarize, when we're creating a base class and we know a method is going to be overridden in a derived class, we have to mark that method virtual. Then in the derived class, when we want to change the definition of that method, we have to write override, because we're overriding the base class definition with this definition in the derived class. So that wraps up this first exercise on virtual methods, and we're going to move to the next exercise where we're going to look at another example of inheritance, and we'll be working with graphics in this exercise by creating a base class shape and an inherited class or derived class rectangle.